Alright, so, another replay, of course. You can tell from the IDS team, rel no, translate no, uh, you know, business going on there. This
Yeah, business
game,
as usual.
yeah, this game, as you can probably tell, is not a GGWP game. This is actually from GLHF, which I'm being joined by Mr. Goris here, who is the captain of this team and leader of GLHF. Say hi, Goris.
Hello, everyone.
Fuck you. Also,
That's fair,
uh,
understandable.
anyway, since you are the captain of this team, you care to tell us what we have going on here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is Shards.
Fuck
Typically,
shards,
it's
by
not.
the way.
Yeah, typically it's not our favorite map, of course. I think we're looking at
Yep, I'm
a 5-2 split on this part. Our
Yep.
lineups, we have Satsuma, San Martin. I can't read that. Des Moines, Moskva, Napoli, Gearing, and a Khabarovsk.
Yep, and on the enemy side, we have a Hanover, Salem, Moskva, Petro, Stalin, Gearing, and Sherman. Looking at the okay, go on about our deployment, please.
Yeah, our deployment, we basically did effectively a 5-2 split is what I called for. We're trying to focus AB with a small little kite force up at C. But important for us is controlling the far one line.
Yeah, Khabarovsk is not the best for capping, by the way,
No, it really isn't.
just in case you couldn't tell from the fact that I have a 9-7 kilometer detection.
Ooh,
You know
so
how
small.
you know how that you know how that business goes. We have a Gearing in Des Moines going to smoke play at C. Satsuma is sitting in middle, I believe.
Yeah, roughly middle, focusing AB.
Yeah, our Moskva looks AFK, and San Martin and Napoli are heading towards A with me in the Khabarovsk.
Yeah, on reflection, of course, it might have been better to move Moskva down, but I mean, he doesn't last long in this game anyhow because of miscommunication early on.
Like, this is just me. I personally would have switched the San Martin and the Khabarovsk for the Gearing and the Des Moines. So basically, they take all those ships on each side. Gearing, Des Moines, switch it with the Khabarovsk and San Martin. If we're expecting a dedicated kite force, San Martin being impossible
San
to
Martin
kill.
never dies, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Khabarovsk is obviously a Khabarovsk. Those are a much better kiting force than a smoked up Des Moines. But that's just me.
Fair. I honestly wasn't expecting them to deploy how they did. Very heavy on C with 0 DD support, as we'll see eventually.
Yeah, we're about to see that in a minute here. The San Martin actually radars both of their destroyers here, and this is about to make life very interesting for me and the Khabarovsk here in short order. You're going to see that happening pretty soon. But right now, looking at the map, we see they have pretty much all of their heavy ships on C. So what are you looking at this point in time?
I mean, personally, I'm very much looking at trying to survive because I'm like looking in the face of 3 radars. Well,
yeah.
4 radars, really.
Yeah, and a Hanover. That's that's understandable. But tactically, what are you looking?
Tactically, it's based as I said, it's a withdrawal from C, and then everyone else is trying to win A as fast as they possibly can at this point.
Yep, and I'm telling our San Martin and our Napoli or our San Martin can be the ones to cap A. I'm going to drive off these 2 destroyers. They're going to be kiting away from me, or they're going to have to deal with me in some way, shape, or form, so you can get into the cap. And
as a note, they do have a very strange ship on their side. Yeah, the Sherman.
Yeah, as I'll be honest, I underestimated these guys. As soon as I saw that Sherman, I was like, shitters. But they're actually about to play this very, very well here, and they're gonna catch me in a pretty bad spot here. So we're gonna see how that plays out very swiftly here. So
I mean, Cab does have the advantage of the 50 mil armor, which I believe the Sherman cannot get through.
Yeah, it
Can it?
can also. I don't know if it sap can. I've never actually done the math on that, but I know it can shatter the HE, and there our Mosfa goes down.
That was the miscommunication. He was supposed to be on the south end of
Yeah,
that island.
he's basically supposed to mirror their Mosfa on that side. Yeah, and they actually caught me with my guns facing a slightly different direction, and you're about to see this right here. I expected that Sherman to smoke up, which he didn't do, but you're about to see this right here. That Sherman kites away out of his torpedo range, out of my torpedo range, and then he smokes up, and since I'm shooting at him, their gearing is going to be able to spot me while that Sherman smokes up. So they played that very, very well. The fact that the Khabarovsk has a heal, has armor, and just straight up a giant health pool is what kept me alive.
The only thing that saved you, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what kept me alive during this.
But don't worry, we got him coming in the Napoli behind you to give a lot of good support.
Yeah. Right now, what we're looking at, like I remember in our comms, we were like, all right, I think it was the Napoli.
Guys? Yeah.
Our Napoli was like, hey, our Khabarovsk is dead. I was like, that's blasphemy.
Zega never dies.
Yeah, except for when I do. Don't worry about it. But anyway,
Those don't count.
yeah, they don't happen because they're not on camera. But anyway, right now, I am obviously on 3,000 health, and I'm basically combat ineffective right now. So, right now, looking at the minimap, we're not in an amazing spot here.
No,
we're pretty much
basically just focused ourselves into A, and our retreat from C has gone decently okay.
We did kill their
Better than I
Hanover. What was it that
Yes.
killed the Hanover? Was it the Gearing Torps or what?
Yeah, Gearing Torps, and then a great big hit from Satsuma.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So,
Yeah.
right now, what are we looking at? How are we looking at how we're gonna come back from this?
I mean, we basically have to be pushing B, right? We push B. They're on the islands. They cannot push past those islands without dying because we're just so focused.
Yeah.
I think I go down in the Des Moines relatively soon here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure that when that happens, I need to remember to call you a shitter here.
Any second now.
Yeah.
But at that point, that actually allows them to make their big mistake in their, I believe it's their Stalingrad pushes past that island and then just gets farmed and gives us the ability to just push onto B uncontested.
Yeah. Because that Salem is not going to push out the way the Stalingrad did, because it's a Salem getting faced by a Satsuma. Oh yeah, there's
anything getting pushing a Satsuma, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, shitter, by the way, shitter confirmed. But right now they're at 700 points right now, and
they just have to sit on those islands and they win.
Yeah, pretty much. And this Stalingrad is continuing to push very, very aggressively here, which I think that's what's about to cost them this game, because like you said earlier, that Stalingrad is about to get punished very heavily for this. And right now, me and the Khabarovsk, my mind is just focused on, okay, I cannot...
Stay alive.
I cannot afford to die here. Just stay alive at all costs. And their Napoli actually, our Napoli rather, kills the Sherman. Not sure how that happened.
That was huge.
Yeah, it looks
tried
like...
to open water.
Yeah, Sherman is actually not a very good open water ship. It cannot shoot in the open, basically.
Especially close to a Napoli. I think his secondary's got him.
Even at further ranges,
Still not good, but yeah.
Yeah, by the way, did anyone else see that Satsuma just fucking clap the Stalingrad and then a Gearing Torp finished him off?
Saints was amazing with the Torps this game.
Yeah, Saints is a very good player. He doesn't get enough credit. I think because we shat on him when he played Gdansk one game, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
At this point, we have our Satsuma just pushing into B with 0 Torp threat around him, right? Because that gearing's all the way up on the Charlie line.
Yeah, that gearing is off into like fucking Narnia. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but right now, I'm pinging that map right there for our gearing to possibly just dive into that little crevice there, and there's nothing that can shoot at him. Because this Satsuma is actually pushing straight into a crossfire between a Petro and a Salem. And right now, the plan is for the Khabarovsk to go to C, go like around
Go wide
like
around to
yeah,
C.
Yep. And I actually remember, I don't remember exactly who said it, but basically someone was like, no, Khabarovsk needs to get into a B. Do you think that was the play there, or do you think that going wide was the better play?
I like with hindsight, I think we definitely needed to focus on the 3 ships on those islands.
Yep.
Either we win there or we lose there. It doesn't really matter what the Khabarovsk does at that point, because if we win there, we don't need the cap, and if we lose there, we're never getting close to the cap.
Yeah, and right now what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get behind them, get to either that area right there, or like in C, or that just basically any position where I'm behind these islands and can farm them while they're sitting behind islands to try and avoid our Satsuma walking at their teeth.
But also at this point, we have like the best timing ever between our Napoli and our Satsuma. They both cross those islands at basically the same time.
Yep.
It splits all their guns. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is like the perfect coordination right there, because that gearing is still off in Narnia. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Satsuma just kind of like, walked at a Salem and just punched him right in the teeth. And now I think our Napoli's about to drive by the Moskva, and this Petro's about to find himself in a crossfire between a Satsuma, Moskva. Yeah, like literally everybody else.
Full broadside, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there goes the clap on the Moskva. I think him actually missed his torps there. What a shitter. I say as I just flat out missed the reversing Moskva, but don't worry about it.
And then they lose these 3 ships so quickly one after another on that push. It was crazy actually. We went from being equal ships to 3 up in less than a minute.
Yeah, and they basically, I think it was it was more so the death of the Stalingrad that enabled
Stalin
this.
was the big one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Sherman helped, but
I think another key moment was pushing the destroyers north instead of having them come around behind us. If they tried to do that, I'm not sure they could have done that with Napoli there, but I think it's huge that we were able to keep them north instead of split up and go south.
Yeah, I think they probably could have if they really, really wanted to. They could have, despite playing that they did a lot of damage to me in the Khabarovsk. They played that exceptionally well, so they probably could have split their destroyers and backcapped A if they really wanted to. Also, they think we're a Hurricane Clan. Look at that.
Yeah. We are a Hurricane Clan because they say it so.
Yeah, that's how it works. You're about to see, I think, Gale tags or maybe Storm. I don't remember, but
I think we're Gale. Yeah.
Yeah, but they said we're Hurricanes, so that's how it works. We're Hurricane now, but this gearing is, I think, about to next game it, or is it just gonna get clapped by radar? One of the two. Oh yeah, he's next gaming it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so it does take a surprisingly long time to shoot him down.
Yeah, and I got him. That makes up. Yeah, that makes up for the miss on the Moskva earlier. But anyway.
Oh yeah, Typhoon Plus. That's what we are.
Yeah. So that was a very spicy game. It wasn't as close as the RFG one, but they threw that one pretty damn hard.
Yeah, that was same map too, right?
Yeah, same map.
Yeah, but yeah, the TSIOF basically just threw that one with the Stally dot going right in.
Alright, so here's food for thought for you. What could the TS people, what should they have done differently, or what could they have also done differently? Not necessarily should, but just what could they have done differently that that could have made this different, because we've established that the Stalingrad feeding and the
Yeah.
Sherman feeding were huge factors in that. The Stalingrad especially, but like if you were the caller of that team, what would you have had? What would you have been doing in that?
I probably would have split up the DDs a little bit. I would have had one smoke play with Salem, and might not have. It's hard to say, of course, with hindsight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably would have split up the DDs as number one. Just we typically find having two DDs in one spot is just it's not effective.
Yeah. Because the main thing of having two DDs is a spotting advantage, right? So if you have
Exactly, yeah.
if you have both of your destroyers in one spot, that basically nullifies that advantage. I mean, there's other things that destroyers are used for, like you saw in this game. You saw the Khabarovsk shooting a lot. There's just a straight up torpedo threat, and sometimes you might have like a Kleber or a Marceau dive an island on like Shatter, for instance. But for the most part, the main thing that you run two destroyers for is that spotting advantage. So when you have both of them, one of them being a Sherman, that is kind of nullified. Which, to their credit, the Sherman and the Gearing did play exceptionally
they played very well together, yes.
Yeah, at least at the very beginning. They could have done better. I think if the Sherman didn't feed and the Gearing just stayed dark, maybe even backcapped us, that would have changed things substantially, but as it stands, they didn't. And the Gearing was just off in Narnia, chucking max range torps at us, and basically doing nothing else.
Yeah. Potentially, also they could have abandoned those three islands during mid to end game, and potentially we would not have had enough points to. They would have been able to be on one cap, especially if they were able to kill us as we're pushing for the caps.
Yeah. Honestly,
that's hard to say.
Yeah, like obviously it'll change from game to game depending on like what comp you're facing and what deployments you're facing, but so it's really not like a kind of like simple answer that we can give to this, but to their credit, this entire enemy team did play well. They just made a few mistakes that ended up costing them in the end. But for our team, what do you think went well during this?
I'm actually surprised at how long we survived running from C, which was huge. Saints actually fully disengaged from C and was able to get huge torpedo heads.
Yeah, I believe I didn't see it, but I remember the Hanover. I think either died or got clapped.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, he either died to or got clapped by the Gearing torps, and then
I was the one that finally killed him, but it was like 1,000 damage.
Yeah,
so
something like that. But
and then Satsuma got him too because the Hanover turned away.
Yeah, because Satsuma just does Satsuma things.
Exactly. I'm really glad that we were able to push through A really quickly. Or push into and cap A really quickly. That was good.
Even though it did cost the Khabarovsk a lot of health, but like pretty much any other destroyer would have died.
Not have survived.
Yeah, pretty much literally any other destroyer would have died in that instance. Maybe Marceau or Kleber, because like French saturation shit,
yeah.
Or just the fact that they're so fucking fast. But other than that, pretty much any other destroyer would have just been toasted there.
Yeah, and then as you said earlier, just general setup things with the switching the St. Martin and the Des Moines.
Yeah,
that actually cab and gearing.
Yeah, I mean that was just a thing that I thought of like right at that moment, like right when I hit that record button, I looked at it, I was like, maybe we kind of should have switched that, but I'm not gonna get too much into that. But generally speaking, I believe you have anything else you want to say, or is that it?
I think that's about it. I think aside from our initial miscommunication with positioning, we had really good communication, and we were able to work really well together.
Yeah, I think this was a pretty well played game from both sides. The Napoli and Satsuma push through B, that was a thing of beauty.
Amazing. Loved it.
Saints fan absolutely clapped with his torpedoes this game. Doctor and Gorse are just shitters. I think we've established that. And
Yeah, no doubt about that one.
yeah, and I never die, so that's about it. Uh, I think that's pretty much about it. Anything else? Any closing remarks? Anyone you want to call a shitter? Anything like that?
No, I'm pretty good for that.
All right. So yeah, I think that's it. I will see you tomorrow.